Good morning, happy Sunday. It's Christine Crutcher from Create with Christine. I'm here with another session of live Sunday morning stamping for you. Today I am playing in a creative challenge to make a congratulations or celebratory card. So this is what I came up with today. I went back to the annual catalog for today's project and I'm using the hand-drawn blooms bundle. So here's the stamp set, which is really fun. It has a lot of the large floral and then the smaller florals and then tons of different greetings. So I think this one's probably kind of a little bit overlooked. It's on pages 130 to 132 in the annual catalog, and it's part of the Artistry Blooms suite. So actually I'm not going to bother showing the catalog. I do want to show my new toy that came Friday. So here's the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So it folds up, the sides fold up, and then the platforms come out. So I did use it yesterday to prep my class that's over my shoulder, my fall sampler class. So it went really well. The magnetic platform is not going to be available until September 1st. The machine is going to be available September 1st to all my customers. So I'll be sending out a email on that. And to let you know, I was going to do this at the end, but I might also just do some of this at the beginning and then point the camera down and start stamping. I am moving my email and all my events to Constant Contact, effective immediately. So I'm working with them to just get everything up and going, but so far it seems to be going well in the background with me getting things set up. And I'm trying to see if I can find myself in my post, but Facebook changed the way everything looks, so it's a little bit wonky right now. So it might take me a minute to find myself, but just to let you know, with the standard machine, you get 4 different plates to get started with the new machine. So, and they have the instructions right on them. So there's 1, 2, you need to use this with your thin dies. Whoops, over here. And it's very super paper thin. There's number 3. They actually have the numbers right on them. Is the 2 plates, and you can see this one was the one I did all my cutting on yesterday. I did a lot of cutting. So it does get scratched up and dinged up. And then this one I tried to keep at the top. So I kept one looking a little bit nicer. And then there's a specialty plate number 4. So that's available starting Tuesday, September 1st. So let me point my camera down and try to find myself, and let's start stamping. So again, here's the project, sweet and simple project for a creative challenge I am in. And I can't seem to find myself. Here I am. Like I said, Facebook just did a bunch of updates, so everything's looking a little bit different than it used to. So here's the card, and here's the stamp set, the hand-drawn blooms. So I have quite a bit of stamping. I'm using 4 stamps from the bundle. So let's go ahead and start doing some of my stamping. I think I'm in the frame. So let me get my packet. So I have a bunch of Whisper White scraps. I have one that's 2 by 4. Then this one I didn't even measure. It's just a bunch of scraps. And let's see, that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna come over and do my flowers. So I'm using Misty Moonlight for the blue. Then I'm using 2 pinks. And here's my sample. So I'm just gonna do 3 of this flower that looks kind of like a Lazy Susan. And then I'm done with that and can put that aside. So in my original sample, I took a blender pen and tried to blend the colors a little bit, and I wasn't crazy about that. So I'm gonna try it with the Wink of Stella And to get probably the look I want to do this right away while it's still a little bit wet. So it's just going to kind of make it a little bit shiny and pretty. Don't worry if you go outside the lines a little bit because we're going to cut this out. And I did some earlier, but I didn't Wink Stella them. So there is a little bit of sparkle and shine there. So I did 3 earlier and cut them out just to save time for the video. So I'm just gonna add a little sparkle to these guys. You could also take the ink pad, take a clear envelope, and pretend this was my clear envelope. I'm not going to do it to ruin my paper, but you could tap a little bit of the ink pad and then pick up with the Wink Stella in watercolor. So any clear envelope you have. Clear block would work too. You obviously don't want to put the Wink Stella into the ink because the glitter in here would ruin it. Okay, so I added a little bit of sparkle with that. And I'm just going to put these guys to the side and do my greeting. Now my greeting, I only want the congratulations. So there's a couple different ways to do this. The stamp is congratulations on your special day. So I cut a piece 2x4 Whisper White, and I'm going to stamp it. And I got a little tiny bit of pink in my cardstock and my ink pad, so I'll have to grab that out later. So I did a 2x4 because this is the die that comes in the suite, this huge floral, beautiful die. And if you wanted to just cut out the words, there's this banner. So if you cut this out, there would be a whole bunch of florals on the bottom and the top. But you could cut along the floral. And I'm sorry, I should have cut one out earlier, but I did not. What I'm going to do is just fussy cut out my congratulations. So I'm just going to follow along on the words. It's pretty easy to do with this one. So like I said, this is a super simple, sweet and simple. I'm moving into Halloween for September for my classes. I'm going to have a card class and a sampler class for Halloween, so I kind of wanted to go back to the annual catalog today for this. This is obviously not what I was originally going to do, but you know, it is what it is. So, okay, so all my blue Misty Moonlight stamping is done. So I'm going to bring over a piece of Petal Pink, and it's 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm going to do my Flirty Flamingo on here. So I've got 2 stamps for the large floral in Flirty Flamingo. So because this is a larger stamp, I'm just going to ink it up upside down. Okay, that looks great. And then here's the piece that's kind of got the ribbons in the bow for the bottom. And my only tip is to try to come right over the middle, and I'm just eyeballing it, so I'm a little off, but it's fine. And then what I am ready to do is just put all my pieces together. So I have a Misty Moonlight that is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So this will layer up perfectly straight. Or you could kind of do the whimsical, I guess this one I'm going to do straight just to do something different. I'll add this on with a little bit of liquid glue. And then I have a Flirty Flamingo card base. So I like kind of doing the whimsical kind of look. Okay, so here's my Flirty Flamingo. Got something there. For my flowers, I'm gonna pop those guys up on dimensionals. So we'll just flip them over. Add 3 dimensionals. 1 for each. And you could totally embellish this some more. Oh, and I should have showed you when I stamped and cut out, here's the little die that cuts out so it lines up perfectly. And I didn't even have a magnetic platform yet because the magnetic platform is not going to be available till September 1st for everybody, including demonstrators. So I was able to still do a perfect job with cutting them out. So these I just kind of put on. There are 3 flowers kind of in the middle, and that's what I was aiming for, but you could do whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat. And then the greeting I put on the bottom with a little bit of liquid glue. And then we're ready to add our gems. So if you wanted to spice this up a little bit more, you could do a little bow with twine. I believe the Flowers for Every Season bundle has some twine. That would be cute. And then I'm just going to add 3 of the in-colored gems. So I'm just going to pick up these up with my snips. So 1 down the bottom and 2 up top. Oh, this is why I'm using my snips, because these, you kind of want to lift them up a little bit before you try to grab them. I was trying to grab some earlier and they were not behaving with me. Okay. So that is my card for today. So here's the original, and then here is this version. So almost slightly the same, but you could totally jazz up. You could also take a blender pen in the Misty Moonlight and color in some of the greenery in the background. So I actually might do that on my final sample that I post on my blog, is add some more color into the background. So that's a couple options for you. I am going to bring the camera back up just to follow up on some of my announcements that I made in the beginning. So bear with me for a second. Okay, so number 1 is it's tax-free weekend in Massachusetts. So if you are watching this and it's Sunday, August 30th, don't forget that you could also save 6.25% on your stamping order today if you place it by midnight tonight. So that's number 1. Number 2 is today's the last day to use my host code of the month for August, so I will post that below with the details. Number 3, as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm moving my entire mailing list and all my events to Constant Contact effective immediately. So starting on Tuesday when I send out my update for September, it will be from Constant Contact. All my events and tutorials that are for sale will be on my blog at christinestamps.blogspot.com. I am making a slight increase to my tutorials and my classes with this move. So my tutorials are going to go from 10 to 12, and then my classes will go from 15 to 17. So I just have some additional costs to absorb with this move, but I'm excited to try it out. And like I said, I'm going to be focusing on Halloween for September, so I'll have 2 classes posted. Halloween card class will be coming out later this week. So stay tuned for that, and then I'll have a sampler class being announced probably second week in September. And just to also let you know, there is a Join My Team special for September, so the details of that will be in my email on Tuesday, September 1st. So, and they'll be on my blog too, starting sometime on Tuesday the 1st. So, if you're looking for a discount on your crafting stuff for the holidays, or you want to get that machine I showed at the beginning, the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, please give me a shout via email, text, or Facebook message, and I will help you join my team to get a discount on your supplies. So that's it for this week. Have a great rest of the weekend, and I'll be back next week, probably with a Halloween project. I'm going to be focusing on Halloween for most of this month. So thanks so much. See you next week.